All right. So, the list that we have for you to pick is school memories, haunted memories like ghosts and all that fun shit. Fun things that you did with your family, which I don't have very many. Times that you got in trouble. Favorite horror movies, favorite music, injuries, and people or things that annoy
All the above works for me.
you.
Just want to kind of do a mixture of maybe not all of them, but just some of them.
Why, sure. Um,
Will be like The View.
shit. So, going off of horror movies, what horror movie do you think you could survive?
Anything to do with haunted, like toys or dolls. I feel like that'd be the easiest.
Until you see Baby Oopsie, and then you just drop kick the shit out of it.
I mean, yeah.
I hate that fucking thing. I don't know why that thing just bothers the absolute shit out of me. I think it's the voice.
The voice is a bit grating, but I enjoy it.
mm, what would be your
Definitely a raunchy baby.
right? That would be your fucking child if you had one.
Maybe.
Um, what is your top five favorite horror movies? I'll ask you questions and you ask me questions related to horror. So we'll just switch off like
Oh
that.
boy. Five? Ugh. I guess it just depends on the genre because I tend to gravitate more towards like the trashy, like the B and the cult classics versus new horror. I mean, I do enjoy new horror, but I feel like they heavily rely on jump scares,
Yeah.
and it gets a bit old. So I'm just more for the camp. So speaking of camp, I guess I'd have to say in my top five, one of them would definitely be Sleepaway Camp.
Fucking love Sleepaway Camp. Also, speaking of that, there is, I think it was in the second one, there was a lot of the kills that got toned down. Um, I think it was the second one. Was that the one where they had like the groups in it? It was like going off in pairs, and she kept like killing them off, and be like, "Oh, such and such sent me over here because whatever reason." Or was that the third one?
Oh, where she posed as a camp counselor.
Was she a camp counselor in that one?
Yeah, she worked at the camp.
There was no. There was the one I'm thinking of is she made that fucking rap tape and put it in that dude's tent. Is
And
it?
that might have been the third one, which I didn't care for all that much because it was just bad.
Yeah, not even in a funny bad way. But yeah.
But no, I think the second one was where she was a counselor, and there was that one kill she did where she shoved that girl down the toilet in the outhouse full of leeches. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, I like that one.
Take that, Becky. Your attitude's shitty, and now you are. So, but
Fucking what was the one? Is that the one that had the shit cousins or sisters in it too?
yeah, where she barbecued them. Yeah, good times. Um, I don't really. I mean, if we're sticking with the same kind of genre, time, like era,
Mm.
I would have to say, are you okay over there walking all over my furniture?
I mean, I can't sit down, so I'm just trying to make the best of a bad situation.
Oh, that's your own damn fault.
Well, my bad.
Anyway, so sticking with the same era genre kind of thing, I would have to say my other top five, or on my top five, would have to be Night of the Demons, both one and two, just because they are big time cult classics. I don't recognize the third one because it is absolute trash, just like Sleepaway Camp.
Did we
It is
watch
so
Night of the
bad.
Demons together?
Well, we did. We watched the first one together.
Was that the one with the nipples?
It was where she stuck the lipstick in her boob. Yeah,
I love that one.
she's like, "Am I pretty?
Me every time
Stop
when I watch
staring
that.
at me."
Uh,
Uh, but yes, both the first and second would have to be on my top five. Um, the second one is, I think, slightly better, just because it's cheesier.
we didn't watch the second one together, did we?
No, we haven't yet. I need to, I need to get that so I can have you watch it.
Definitely.
But anyway, so that's three right there. If I had to go more mainstream, I would have to say Child's Play 2. Out of all of them, the second one has to be my favorite.
I love what's
It's,
her name? Kyle, wasn't it? His
mm-hmm,
sister's name.
yeah.
That bitch was like the embodiment of me, just sitting there smoking all the fucking time. She so reminded me of like a real life version of Debbie from Waldorf Berries. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I
I
like
see the connection.
I like that movie a lot. I saw some interesting things like the camera movements had that they had in there was like wide shots in there, like low to the ground to like kind of represent Andy's point of view and things. Like I thought that was
Mm,
kind of cool.
yeah.
I like the Child Play movies. I liked them
Yeah,
up till part
definitely.
three. After that, I think they kind of just went to shit for me.
Part three was probably where it started to just nosedive into the crap department.
I
Although
agree.
I think they kinda salvaged the series a little bit with Bride. I think they did fine with Bride. I do love the introduction of Jennifer Tilly.
Oh, she's so good.
Yeah, she's an icon, and I think she did a phenomenal job. Was it the best besides two? No, but it was hilarious. It had some really cheesy, fun moments, but
Favorite part has to be when she killed the couple. She threw the water bottle
yes,
into the fucking ceiling, broke the
yeah,
glass, and all this shattered. Then they fucked afterwards.
yeah, yeah.
Don't worry, I'm
Asking if
all
you had a
rubber.
rubber. Yeah.
The funny thing about that, again, my stupid fucking knowledge of horror movies, that was improv, if I'm not mistaken. Brad Dorff, I think is the name of Chucky. I get names mixed up all the time, but
Oh, the voice actor, yes.
yeah, he and Jennifer Tilly was like in the sound box, like standing right in front of each other, and a lot of times they would just kind of mad lib some of their lines, and that kind of stuck with it. I think the whole rubber thing was one of the lines that they that they did.
Mm, I did not know that, but that's fun. I like that. I enjoy watching movies where voice actors, or even acting in general, where they can ad lib and just kind of go off the script and have fun with it, and it feels more natural than just straight up sticking to the script.
Right.
So let's see, that's four. I guess my fifth. That's a hard one because there's just so many horror movies throughout the ages, and I mean, I grew up with them. Like I was introduced at a very young age, thanks to my mother.
Couldn't relate. No, mom was the reason why I got into horror movies. Like our first horror
Mm.
movie that we watched was the OG Halloween.
Oh, see, mine with my mom was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh, nice. So you got the cunty, sarcastic child murderer, and I got the psychopath. That's cool. Explains a lot.
Yeah, it reflects very much. Yeah. uh, I mean, I guess I would have to say the first Nightmare on Elm Street would have to be number five, just
Sure.
because it's a classic. It's phenomenal. It's what started the whole thing, and it didn't take itself too seriously, obviously, as it went on. But I think out of all of them, it was the least silly.
Hmm.
And I know that kind of is redundant because what I just said about the other movies being corny and loving them, but I think I loved that movie because it didn't need to be insanely stupid
Mm,
like its its sequels became,
right.
which I still enjoy a handful of them. Not all of them, of course. I can't stand the majority of them after I think what was it, four? Four. I mean, after four, it got so bad for me.
My favorite line in any of them has to be that one, like, I think it's from the Dream Warriors, where she said, "My dreams, I'm bad and beautiful." That she gets like killed.
Yeah, I was when I first saw that, I was upset that she got killed
Oh,
off.
I know, right? It's like, why couldn't it have been the others, not that one?
Yeah.
That motherfucker. Was it the same one that he was in the wheelchair? He's like, "Come watch this," and Freddy just like kind of tipped him over. He's like, "No."
I
It's
think
been
so.
14 years since I watched those movies.
Yeah.
I think.
I just
Oh my god, it is storming outside. I think out of all the horror movies, I want to say Nightmare on Elm Street is one I've watched the least amount.
really, I guess for me it would have to be. I think it would be Halloween for me. Like I've seen them all
Mm,
a handful of times, but probably out of all the mainstream, um, that specific one would be the least watched for me.
mm. I think one of my favorite scenes from any of the Halloween movies, I can't remember right off. A couple of my favorite scenes, one me and my dumbass friend laugh at constantly, as they're trying to get through a door and they shoot it. Is she's like, "It's metal." He said, "It's metal. God damn it! What do we do?" And they just kind of run off. And I love that one little girl. She just keeps coming up. She's like, "Jamie." She always cracks me up.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. I mean, you asked me what my five favorite were, but I'm not going to ask you that question because that would just be a bit repetitive. What are the five worst horror movies that you've seen?
God, Resident Evil.
Like, no, I don't classify that as horror.
Welcome to Raccoon City. It was like an abomination to watch and try to sit through that I could not do.
Mm,
um, I think that one. I don't like Pet Cemetery in the slightest.
really? Well, I guess I understand it. It can be a bit boring for some people.
Yeah, I didn't care for Pet Cemetery. If we're going like classic, I guess. I don't know. There's not a lot that I don't like. Um, like recently, I watched The Woman in the Yard and absolutely fucking hated that movie. It was fucking terrible. It was nothing at all that I thought it was going to be. Like, just watching a trailer, you would think that it's
Mm.
this woman like stalking these people, but it's a totally different thing. And then it goes into more of a psychological horror movie than anything. Which I like psychological horror movies. It's just that was pretty fucking terrible.
Yeah. I actually, when I hung out with a friend of mine that was visiting from out of town, she mentioned that movie and she's like, avoid it at all costs. It's just, it's
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I heard it's pretty bad. I have no intention of watching it.
Yeah. Another one, and I cannot wrap my head around why people thought it was remotely scary, creepy, frightening, anything to do with that. Is Skinamarink. I hated that fucking movie. Me and my friend watched it. The whole entirety of that movie, I was ready to tap out after like the first hour. And he was like, "We've sat here this long, we might as well finish it, and maybe something will happen." And it never did. The most that you got, like you mentioned before, was the whole jump scare bullshit that scares only preteens and the elderly.
Hmm.
But that movie was, in a nutshell, basically the same equivalent of sitting in the floor, turning the lights on and off, and watching the wall, and then every now and then get up and go to a different room and rinse and repeat. Like
Oh.
it was just tragic. I hated it so much.
Yeah, the kind of, you talking about those two movies being that horrible and whatnot, it's just, and how disappointing they were. It reminds me of when that movie Bug first came out and was in theaters. I
Wait,
think that was like back in 2007.
I think I know what
It
you're
was,
talking about. It's like a
yeah,
psychological horror movie, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the
yeah,
trailer made it seem like it actually had to do with insects being in people's skin and stuff like that. And then when you finally watch it, it's just two cracked out people tripping. And I was just like, ugh.
yeah. My normal
I
day
was
at work at
absolutely
Goodwill.
bored. Huh?
My normal day at work at Goodwill. Just two cracked out
Uh,
people. Um,
mm,
did you ask me to name like three movies, or did you?
it was fine, but
Oh,
it
five.
doesn't.
Oh no, I can name five. I named what, three so far, I think.
Yeah,
I'm looking at horror movies right now just to see. Um,
you really need to refresh your memory on Terrible.
Listen, I watched so many fucking horror. I know you can relate to. Just when you watch so many of them, a lot of times they just kind of mesh together.
Hmm.
Either that or I'm just really fucking dumb.
Why not both?
Pretty much. Um, I hated the Lords of Salem. I'm a big
Mm.
fan of Rob Zombie. Love House of a Thousand Corpses. Uh, Devil's Rejects was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the best. And then he did 31, which I thought was pretty good. And then he had done The Lords of Salem, and I liked the song a lot. And when I watched it, it was just really fucking boring, and I could not get into it.
Mm. Hmm.
And I guess another movie I want to say more of a franchise than anything that I can't get into is Friday the 13th. To me, I can't get into watching it. Like
Uh, are you talking about all of it in general, or?
it just got so dumb for me. Like the first one was good. The second one's like, oh okay, I can get into that. The third one was a fucking mess, and then anything after that, like we're going to send him to hell, and then when he goes to hell, his heart is, you know, out there for people to eat and become him, and that was really fucking dumb to me. And
I
then
agree. That
the
was definitely a way
Samaritans.
later one. That it was bad.
Yeah, yeah, it really was.
Oh, and when you went to Manhattan, I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Listen, I like that movie, okay? The thing that pisses me off the
Mm.
majority about this fucking movie is the majority of it was on that fucking boat.
Hmm.
And then, like, what, it's like the last 10, 15, 20 minutes that's actually in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and a bonus. I hate anything, absolutely anything to do with shark movies. I think they are the stupidest fucking movies. And I know like Jaws was like this big, oh, it's a cult classic. I get that, and I respect it. But I hate fucking shark movies because the simple solution is stay the fuck out of the water. Like if you see some bitch get eaten in the water, don't think, oh man, it's full. I guess it's gone now. Let me go swim with my family. No, it's still there and it's still going to eat you. Like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this totally different from like a crocodile movie because those motherfuckers get out of the water and they come in, get your ass. It's nothing like you know sharks that are just in water and easily avoided.
Right.
That's my gripe with that. Um, So another question for you is, what is one horror movie that you absolutely love that you think is underrated?
Oh, that's that's a toughie. Um, God, now you got me really thinking because that kind of makes me go back to like the older you know 70s, 80s.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know. Well, you know what? Actually, I think I'm gonna go to the '90s and say the remake for what was it? Um, House on Haunted Hill.
Okay.
Just because, like, it gets a lot of shit because it's a late '90s, not spectacular movie, but I adore it for a lot of reasons.
Hmm.
Some of the actors, I love them. I mean, Bridget Wilson's in it, and I love her.
Oh my god, I still remember when we was watching. I Know What You Did Last Summer and found out she was in that as well.
Oh, it's the older sister, yeah. She just killed her off. I was like, oh, that's kind of sad.
They did Sonya so
Like,
wrong. She straight up she straight up killed an Australian man with her legs, broke his neck, but yet she dies like a bitch in that movie.
yeah. Oh, I mean, okay, so going on to that movie is, for me, not the greatest. Like, I do, I do enjoy slashers,
Hmm.
but it's kind of the lower end for me. Like, I don't think it's trash. I just don't love it.
Right.
And when that scene happened and she was killed off, I just felt like it was such a pathetic way of killing her off. Like,
Hmm.
the slashers are meant to be, you got the stalker thing going on, you got the jump scares here and there, but like, I want to see somebody bleed like a stuck pig.
Hmm.
I don't want to see just like off-screen type kills. I hate those.
Yeah.
Like that, like you're watching a horror movie for a reason. If you want an off-screen kill, then watch like a normal, like, I don't know, like a action movie or a movie about or a TV show about hospital shit.
I think in a horror movie,
I don't know.
going on top of like jump scares being so just like a bad idea for me, I think off-screen kills that are right up there with that too. Like you
Yes.
said, you watch it for a reason. You don't want to sit there and wonder what happened to them, or one scene you see them alive, and the next one they're all bloodied and like ripped apart. It's like, well, fuck, I wanted to watch how that happened. I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. Or even like okay, so I don't need a super gory, gruesome death,
Hmm.
but sometimes it's satisfying, and sometimes, like you said, I just want to see. I want to see that bitch get shredded.
Especially if it's characters that you fucking hate. Like, in every horror movie, you have that one sex crazed dude It's really fucking annoying, and then you have that one dumb bitch that's like always doing something stupid. It's like those people you really want to watch die, and those are usually the ones that like get the off-screen kill. It's like, no, she annoyed the shit out
Mhm.
of me. I want to see it happen.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. So going back on some cult classics about like favorites and whatnot, and I have to say like one of my absolute favorite uh would have to be like Carrie. I love Carrie. I know it's not over the top gory and kills galore and all that shit, but I love it. I I get pulled in. I feel for the poor girl. I love the fact that she snaps and just goes ballistic.
Hmm.
I love it all.
That's the
Granted,
biggest
I
part that
wish,
made that movie is when she does snap, you can see all the anger in her eyes and just everything felt so real about it.
yeah, like she was gone. Like there was no returning her back to
Right.
normal. Um, but when she killed off, like, for instance, John Travolta and I can't remember the actress's name, but the main bitch that nobody liked.
Hmm.
When she killed them off, and it just basically made the car flip and just explode. I was like, I get it. It's the '70s. It's not all about the you know gore and shit, but it would have been nice to see like maybe his head get cut off and fly, and I don't know,
Or give her
just
wings.
something a little bit more, just more deserving than an instant explosion.
Right. Or do like some of the old 90s, 80s, like over the top head explosions where it's like three different scenes of this head exploding like a watermelon.
Oh yes. Ooh, another movie that is so overlooked by people of today, especially Chopping Mall.
I fucking love that. And the funny thing, I was talking to my cousin about that, and he said he used to creep his mom out because he would go around making like the noises that the robots made. And she just kept like, "Stop! You're fucking bothering me. Quit." I know you'll agree with me. Chopping Mall. Absolute favorite scene in that was when the girl's running, gets zapped in the ass, and it was just perfectly fine. And then like 2 seconds later, fucking head explodes.
Yeah, that was amusing, but definitely did not make sense. Was it like the first laser? Was it like a stun
It was the
kind of
white
thing?
blood.
Which, yeah,
I said, panties are out, bitch. Cover them up. You got 2 seconds.
boom goes her head like a watermelon under a mallet. Oh,
So before you ask me my other question, I have watched the original Carrie. I loved it, and I unfortunately watched the remake. I did not care for the remake, but I mean that's
same.
the case with a lot of remake movies that I just don't care for.
Hmm.
But correct me if I'm wrong, but do you? To me, I don't think Carrie needed a sequel. I think it would have been just perfectly fine, one and done, and like never touched again. I think it ended perfectly fine, and I'd never watched the sequel, so I don't know.
The sequel did not make any sense.
Ah, that's
It
fair.
just absolutely did not make sense because she died at the end of that
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
She
that's
was
what I
gone.
remember. Yeah.
So, if I remember correctly, and I could be misremembering, the sequel is about her daughter. And I'm like, how? When?
There would have been no way she would have had a kid at that point, because
I
bitch was
know.
dead.
Well, not only that, but she was a virgin. She never had sex.
Mama,
Unless it was like some off screen. Huh?
Mama, they're called breast.
Oh, God. Dirty pillows. Come on. I need a shirt that says they can see your dirty pillows. Or I can see your dirty thoughts. Sorry, I misquoted. Um, but yeah, um, I believe it's supposed to be about her daughter. But I could be completely and utterly wrong. And it's just um, a completely different character,
Yeah, I'm taking
unrelated.
screenshots of the movie because I have like a list of horror movies pulled up, and looking at her, just looks like she has this weird vine-looking thing around her head, like a tattoo, kind of.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it looks kind of terrible.
I don't know. I'm just not gonna get into it any further, just because it's absolutely dog shit.
Trash.
Um. Oh, I take that back. Not a daughter. She is a younger half sister.
Oh, somehow that makes it worse.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking, without digging any further into it, is maybe being a younger half sister, maybe she was, you know, birthed at secret, or the husband cheated with another woman before he eventually passed away.
Sounds like my family in a nutshell.
Sounds like half of America in a nutshell.
Fucking much. All right,
But
I'm
anyway.
ready for your question.
Oh, God. Well, I don't know what to ask except for what horror movie has made you feel sick to your stomach?
Um,
Not like full on, oh God, I'm gonna go throw up right now, but just like actually made your stomach kind of turn.
you're not talking about like the fake whole thing of like the movie is like Paranormal Activity. Oh my god, this movie is so terrifying. It just made everyone leave right then and there. No,
No, like legit, like made
yeah,
you uncomfortable.
uncomfortable and sick. Um, it's it's kind of hard to do that to me, to be honest with you. I've watched so many, I've seen so many people die in various ways, and I don't know. I think something that really bothered me was the movie Dentist, and one scene that always stuck to me. And I watched it when I was a wee little kid. Probably shouldn't have, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, mom didn't care. But one of the scenes that really stuck with me was when he had the one, I think it was his secretary, like in the chair. He had her like kind of doped up and everything. He had pissed her off for whatever reason, and he was just like grinding her teeth down to dust. Like that always fucked with me, and like continued my fear of like to this day. Because I'm always afraid, like, oh shit, if I go, what if he's having a bad day? Like, I'm kind of fucked. He's gonna drill everything out, and yeah, like that's always
Hmm.
kind of messed with me. Like I said, I've watched so many movies too where I've seen people be ground up, tortured, everything, but I think that's honestly the thing that sticks out the most to me.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I
I,
think
I,
another thing that like really gets me is because it's not supernatural. Like it's a real thing that could potentially happen to somebody, and I think things like that in horror movies, that's what really kind of makes you think more. Is like, oh shit, that actually could happen.
mhm. I think for me, like, because I'm in the same boat as you, I've seen so much growing up that I'm a bit desensitized. Um, but I don't really have anything I can think of that outright bothers me, except maybe when it's like something realistic involving vomit.
Mhm.
That kind of makes me a little go ew, but it doesn't outright make me want to step away and, toss my cookies.
Right.
But it's just kind of like I guess a slight cringe.
Mhm.
But it has to be like realistic vomit. If it's just, the typical movie vomit, then I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, I get you.
Like, that's oatmeal.
It's grenadine.
But when it's actual, like, puke, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty vile. Um, what is a horror movie that made you laugh your ass off? And it doesn't have to be like a horror comedy movie like Tucker and Dale versus Evil or like scary movie or anything like that. Like just a horror movie that was trying to be a horror movie but was just so fucking funny and outrageous that you know, like for me, for example, any Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie after the first one, I think is they tried to be like scary with it, but to me, it's just like the funniest fucking thing. Like part two, where he does the whole "lick my plate, you dog dick," like that just cracks me up, and I can't take that movie serious.
Yeah.
Or when Renee
Yeah.
Zellweger stood up and said, "You set the fuck down and shut up," and walks off.
Oh, that's right. When Leatherface was in the female attire,
Wasn't that your first time watching that movie with me?
I think it was my first time watching it entirely,
Yeah.
but I have seen like bits and pieces.
I love when we're watching like
That
the very beginning of it, like they're walking in the forest, woods, forest, whatever you want to call it, and they had the flashlights, and you're like, "Bitch, why do you need that? Do you not see how bright it is there?"
hmm that's the problem I have with horror movies in general. Is just they write the characters to be so dumb, it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it can be entertaining depending on the film, but when it's supposed to be a somewhat serious horror movie, it kind of takes me out of it when they do really obvious stupid stuff.
Right.
Like, don't go in there. You heard a noise in the dark room. Well, don't go in there. Quietly vacate the premise. Hide somewhere besides a closet or under your damn bed. Like, why do they choose the most obvious places to hide? You know the killer is gonna find your ass. Like, that's so ridiculous.
No, and another thing that bothers me so fucking much is like they're in a house or something. Like, oh, we have to find a key, or if they're going out into the woods, they're like, oh no, there's like thorn bushes. We can't get past that. No, bitch, you're about to die. Like, fuck those thorn bushes. Take the cuts and just run through that shit. Like, you're good. If it's a door, kick that
Exactly.
shit down. Like, if I was in those situations, bitch, I'd be Jackie Channing over every fucking thing that I possibly could. Like, that adrenaline kicks in
Mhm.
and you're fucking gone. Like, no.
Exactly.
And I get it's like, oh, you're not in that situation. Like, no, I've been in like weird situations where I'm like, no, I'm not going to make that fucking mistake, and just like, yeah. So funny thing about that, when I went on my little trip like a few days ago, we had stopped at this bakery, and there was this really sketchy dude standing outside, and it was like 10 at night. My cousin's wife was just like kind of giving him a weird look, and he didn't bother anybody. I think he was homeless, whatever. But I think he was also cracked down on something. So we go into this bakery, and he comes in as well, and is like not in line or anything, just kind of staring at everybody. So that was creepy, and I had to use the bathroom, and the guy told me kind of vaguely where it was. So the cashier dude told me where it was. So I was getting ready to go to it, and I went the wrong way, and the guy started following me. I was like, oh no. So I was getting ready to head towards the bathroom, and he had walked in front of me and went to the bathroom. I was like, I'll just hold my piss for the next 2 hours. I'm good.
Hmm.
Like, I watched too many horror movies to know what the fuck goes on in that, and I'm not going to get killed inside of a bakery. Like, no.
Yeah,
I just
no.
can't do as much.
Either your winky's gonna be cut off or it's gonna be something else.
Yeah.
There might be a hole in the wall involved.
It was a classy place. I felt like the hole in the wall would have, like, ribbons. Please insert here.
Somebody get gets like those little paint pens and draws a really like realistic donut over that hole.
Oh my god. Extra film
Uh,
inside. Did I ask you a question or did you ask me? I can't remember.
I asked you about the what would make you nauseous or uncomfortable.
Oh, okay. And then I asked you something. Or
You
wait, is it my
you
turn to answer?
forgot. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're just kind of going
Okay,
back and forth and
so
whatnot.
I'll
So,
ask you this since I can't remember who left off. Let me get readjusted. Ah, okay. So, what is like the best kill that you have ever seen in a horror movie? Something that always stuck out to you.
mm, I don't know because honestly, I, that's hard.
Hmm.
That's really difficult for me because I. Okay, it's gonna be a bit of an eye roll here, so please bite your tongue. Um, but I will have to say maybe not the best because I can't think of the best, but I will say movies like Terrifier tends to go towards the more creative
Hmm.
and doesn't really shy away from a, going over the top.
Yeah.
And so I kind of with certain movies I love that. I still haven't seen the third one, but you already kind of informed me about that. But when he went over the top in the second one with that one girl in her bedroom,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that to me didn't bother me. Like I wasn't upset about it. I was just like, oh, more, please.
Hmm. I think what
And
stood out more was it was in the same movie as when the one chick is towards the end of the movie. She was in the bathroom. He threw the acid on her face, and you see all the bubbling and everything, and then just like
mm-hmm.
I think he like broke her ribs and just basically took her heart out. And like to me, that stood out more than the bedroom scene.
Well, yeah. I would say in the first one, I really enjoyed when he killed off that one woman, the random homeless woman
Hmm.
that was not all there in the head, and he wore her titties. I absolutely loved it. I was like, yes, that's my kind of crazy. I mean, if I saw that, I would be like, can I take a selfie with you before you kill me? Nice tits. But yeah, as for the best kill I've ever seen, nothing really comes to mind that stands out in that category.
I think one of the most memorable scenes that I can recall, and it's from the Friday the 13th movie, oddly enough. It's Jason X when he had put that bitch's face in the liquid nitrogen and just like smashed it on the table.
uh, not for me. just because I've seen similar things in other movies.
Hmm.
I think there was something like that in that movie Demolition Man. It had
Yeah,
something to do with
with Wesley
liquid
Snipes.
nitrogen. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you see that stuff in other movies what was it? Terminator 2.
I don't think I've watched the Terminator movies. I watched the first one, and then after that, I couldn't get into them.
No. Well, there's a scene involving liquid nitrogen and shattering, so nothing gruesome, of course, but it was just like by the time I saw Jason X, I was just like,
Desensitized.
okay, yeah, I was like, I've already seen similar, so,
Mm.
and I did not like that movie. I could not stand it. I thought it was atrocious in every direction possible.
Oh,
Like,
Jason X.
yeah, it was just,
It was one of those movies where it was
yeah.
underwrote the comedy, kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
See,
Like where they
I couldn't even.
like where they sent him. Well, it was in that hologram thing, and the two women were laying in the tent. She's like, "Do you want to smoke pot and have premarital sex?" And you just like beat the shit out of him against a tree.
Oh, okay. I will say that scene right there was probably the only one that made me giggle.
Yeah.
Probably the rest of it was S tier trash to me.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I agree.
that was, but yeah, there was one horror movie I remember watching as a kid, not a young kid, but kid, and I don't know the name of it, but I remember it involved insects, and I think it was just like roaches,
Mm.
but I remember them laying eggs in people, and it was like really like grotesque for the time. And I just remember like the egg, like they would grow inside the wherever the eggs were laid or whatever, and just like burst open and devour the people.
It wasn't Mimic, was it?
Uh, I don't think so, no.
Okay.
Because I remember, and I'm probably possibly misremembering again, because I'm old now. Um, but I just remember this woman lifting up her skirt and showing off part of her leg, where apparently, the babies were inside of her leg and it had like swollen. It was all like juicy and pussy looking.
Ooh, that
And it
sounds
was just
nasty.
like, ugh. But I could not find that movie ever since I saw that. And it's been stuck in the back of my brain since then. And I have tried to look for it online, and there's been a wide variety of movies that came out around that time that had similarities, but I could never find that specific scene.
Hmm.
So who knows? Maybe it's lost to time, and I'll never see it again. But there was that, and I still remember when my mom was pregnant with with one of my siblings. It was like the first one. When she was pregnant with him, I was staying with my grandmother for like I think like a week or something, and there was this movie on TV that my grandmother's at the time boyfriend was watching, and it had to do with this like killer baby.
Hmm.
And I just remember the one scene where the babysitter had her boyfriend over and they were like having a hot makeout session on the couch. And then there was the baby screaming because it wanted attention or whatever. And she went to go pick it up and she had it up on her shoulder and stuff. And it like bit the shit out of her neck and like basically ripped it open.
Hmm.
and then went after the boyfriend. I don't even remember that movie, like what it was called. But I remember that, and I remember there's another scene where the mom was cutting up like raw steak and feeding it to the baby.
Is that Rosemary's Baby?
No, Rosemary's Baby was definitely an older movie and was not anything like that.
Oh, okay. Was it Grace?
No, it was in the 90s. I want to say like, or maybe it was either early 90s when that movie came out or late 80s.
Mm.
It might have been The Unborn or something like that. I don't remember. I will have to search for it again, but I just remember that scaring the ever living shit out of me because at the time I was only like 6 or 7.
Mm.
And of course, my mother was pregnant, never experienced my mother being pregnant before, so immediately I was just terrified and thinking, oh my god, my little brother is gonna be this thing.
And then you dropped a shelf on it.
No, I was partially correct. He didn't turn out to be a killer baby, but he turned out to be a shitty child. So,
All right. I think we got time for a couple more questions. We got like 9 minutes left.
9 minutes? Oh boy, how exciting. I didn't realize we were on a time limit.
I was trying to keep it between 30 minutes to an hour.
Ah, I see. Yeah, you don't want the people getting too bored, although, what people, right?
Right.
Oh well, pilot episode. Uh, I don't know. Let's see. Hmm. What is your opinion or thoughts in general on the whole relating curses with movies, like real life curses?
Are you talking about like fuck, what was that one movie where I totally left my mind. Is it Poltergeist?
Well,
Where
yeah,
like a
that
lot of
that
people died in that movie? Like the
well,
movie was cursed?
the supposedly, yeah, there is that one, but like, cause the older sister in that movie, I think it was a couple months after it released, her boyfriend strangled her. And then, of course, the little girl from the movie passed away, and I think in the other two movies, there's a couple other characters that passed away. So, yeah, there was that whole curse thing that people were like, oh, they did something, and, you know, that was like legit, and that like started the curse. Like, I want to say where they filmed the movie, the first one at least, there was potentially sacred land involving like the Native Americans. Um, and because they also used real skeletons for the pool scene, so there could be some sort of like just bad karma or just in general straight up like old ass curse. I don't know,
Mm.
but it could also just be a freak thing,
Coincidence.
like yeah.
Yeah. Huh, there's actually a question. What's the most scarring scene from a scary movie you guys have seen?
Hmm. Scarring. that's that's hard because I don't know. Like, what about you? I mean, is there anything that scarred the absolute crap out of you?
Yes. You're gonna laugh. Two things that fucking happened, and I don't know what my child brain obsession with everything, but Watching the Blob terrified the absolute fuck out of me, and it goes along with watching the original It movie where he is that fucking scene where all you see is his fingers come out of the drain and he like pulls it apart and is just like leaning on the ground, sticking out of the drain. And as a kid, like I never took a bath or a shower by myself. Like I always had to have my mom around me when I did because I was like, if that fucking blob can pull a man through a drain, then what the fuck's gonna happen to me? And the same thing with Pennywise. Like if he can open a drain like that, then I'm fucked. So for a long time, I
uh,
couldn't like go to the bathroom by myself or anything like that. And
oh,
I've watched so many fucking horror movies like Resident Evil and stuff like that. Obviously different
but
time frames, but still, like that fucked with me.
oh, I guess for me, I was. It was when the remake of the Amityville Horror came out, and the movie in its entirety did not bother me. But
Oh,
for
that's the one with
whatever
Ryan Reynolds.
reason, yes, Ryan Reynolds, yeah, that one.
Hmm.
The only part that actually got under my skin was the scene where one of the brothers had gotten up and went to the restroom in the middle of the night, and what they saw in the mirror, for some reason, like just like it was like bam, like I could not handle mirrors for like that entire year.
Oh shit.
Like anytime I went into the restroom or walked by a mirror in general, I did not look into a mirror.
He said nope, 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 nope.
Mm-mm. So, but that was just for that 1 year. I think afterwards I kind of just got over it and moved on.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I
See.
think that was it for me. That freaks me out, like to that point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I don't hold anything, you know, uh, to this day and age. Like I'm not. I didn't take anything from my childhood and still hold on to that, like as a being scarred from a
Right.
horror movie.
Right. So one more question for you, and I'll answer it too. But I'll let you go first. What is the most unique killer that you have ever seen in any horror movie? Like the best design killer that you've ever seen,
Oh, wow. Best design. Ooh.
in your personal opinion.
Hmm. I would have to say it's a real stumper. uh, Even though I was not like in love with the movie, I want to say some of the ghosts from 13 Ghosts.
No fucking
I
shit.
think a
I was
lot
about to say that
of
too. Like that was going to be my answer. Was the princess from 13 Ghosts was my favorite.
the princess, the one with all the cuts on her that was
Yes,
naked.
yes.
Why are you obsessed with naked chicks and
I don't know. I blame it on growing up and listening to Living Dead Girl.
I I keep forgetting how much younger you are. Um,
Ow.
I want to say my favorite out of those had to be what was it? I think it was the Banshee.
Oh, you talking about the bitch with the cage, the jackal?
Yeah, the Jackal. Yeah, that one. I don't know why
Jackal,
Banshee
jackal.
popped in my. It's a Jackal. Yes. But yeah, the Jackal. I think her design was probably my favorite out of all of them.
That was a her.
Or him. Sorry, I don't know why I keep thinking it might be just the wild, crazy long hair, and it just like for some reason my brain keeps associating him as a her, even though they have stated in the lore it's a man.
Is it? I couldn't. I like watching the movie. I never could tell what the fuck it was.
Yeah, in the lore, it's a man.
Okay.
And speaking of that movie, I am kind of curious about what was it, that rumor that was floating around for a while about
Oh,
a
the Netflix
series.
series.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's even happening. Like, if it's still happening, if it was happening, or anything. Because I haven't heard shit in a while.
I think so. In my opinion, um,
You have a lot of those.
yeah, right. But if they do that, I don't know if you remember having that movie on VHS, but not VHS. Good goddamn, I'm feeling old. The DVD. There was a special feature on there where you can click on their little items, and it would give you the lore to like to them. And
Oh, and 13 Ghosts?
mhm.
Yeah.
And I think that it could easily be made. Each episode is about a different ghost, like 13, episodes. Be finished with one season, and then I think the finale, like the final, after the season's over with, I think they could do a remake of the movie as long as they kept it, you know, decent and not overkill it. I think that would be a great way to bring that back. But you can easily
Uh,
like do a story, an episode like an hour long out of each one of those characters.
you could, but I don't know if I would want to just have one episode. Maybe if they wanted to, they could stretch it out a bit further, do maybe like 3 episodes, 4 episodes per ghost.
Mhm.
That way it's, I don't know, you can do like 2 or 3 ghosts per season and stretch that out over a few seasons. That way we get more of an actual background and not just an hour of everything crammed together.
The only reason why I said like a hour per episode or per ghost was like some of them I feel like you can't really do a lot with, like that one little fucker, the kid that has a tomahawk on his head,
Oh, yeah,
or
yeah.
the arrow tomahawk, whatever one it was. But
Yeah, the arrow through his head, yeah.
yeah, I don't think that you can really do a lot with him. But
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they could approach it the same way they did with Goosebumps.
viewers beware, there's a little kid with an arrow stuck in his head and titties,
Spooky!
and then the baby with more titties.
Oh, are you talking about the big man with his little mom?
Yeah, that shit used to
The,
creep
the,
me out too.
the, what were they? They were like circus freaks or whatever?
I want to say, I think so.
Carnies or something, yeah.
Yeah,
That was, yeah, fun times.
it was. I'd like to see them do that, but you never know with Netflix. I mean, they could probably pick it up and just be terrible.
Or it could be wonderful and only be
It'd be
one
canon.
season, and then they just, yeah. Yeah, they tend to do that for whatever reason.
That's the truth.
Oh, this is terrible. Let's keep going. Oh, this is really good and everyone's loving it. Let's just destroy it.
There's like
Stop.
500 fucking Adam Sandler movies on Netflix.
Ah, that's why I bum off of Netflix because I can't even justify paying for it because
Mm-hmm.
it's lacking,
It sure is.
which is sad because Netflix was what started all this streaming stuff. Like they were the, you know,
Mm-hmm. The
big
goat.
titty bitch that gave birth to everything.
Yeah, and then they got really bad with horror, and then I think Hulu started getting really good, and then that started getting really bad, and then that's when they made Shutter, and then that just started getting bad too.
And now horror is just divided between so many different streaming services.
I still think the best one for horror is Tubi.
I do enjoy Tubi for that, but I hate all the ads.
Yeah.
But it is free, so I will just, bite my tongue and deal with it and just treat it as if I'm watching it on TV. like like normal old fashioned cable without the editing.
Then you get to watch the really like obscure ones like fucking Microwave Massacre.
Yes, Microwave Massacre.
Hmm.
That was fun. That was really bad. It was fun, but really, really bad.
I don't
I mean,
remember anything from that movie other than that woman out in the fucking garden with the vibrator.
oh, yes, making holes for her plants with a vibrator.
I don't remember any of the kills. I think that none of the kills had to do with a fucking microwave. Like maybe one.
No, like, I think he, like, what, cooked them in the microwave after they were already dead so he could
Yeah,
eat them?
that was a wild movie.
I, like, I was half expecting a rogue microwave, like, to become sentient or something, you know? And just, like, straight up murder people. Come on.
Alright,
Ugh.
well, we are past our hour, so I'm going to go ahead and stop. It's been fun, and I can't wait till the next one.
Yeah, we gotta definitely get together again.
Totally. Every Friday.
Sure, Beetlejuice.
Totally. Alright, bye.
Bye.